It's time for the Bringing Back Basic Gray collaboration, and so that means I get to pull out some old Basic Gray papers from my hoarded stash and create something with it, and today it's going to be a scrapbook page. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. So one of my favorite collaborations each month is Bringing Back Basic Gray, because Basic Gray made paper in the early 2000s. They no longer make paper, they only make fabric. And I have hoarded my Basic Gray paper. Like once they stopped making it, I stopped using it and just decided to hoard it. Gathered up all I could at any of the stores that had any left. And I found out that Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing and Kathy, who's Stampin' Cat over on Instagram, also hoarded their Basic Gray. So we decided that we were going to each month pull some Basic Gray supplies out of our stash and enjoy them instead of just letting them sit in a drawer where we can't enjoy them, other than enjoying the fact that we know we have it, I guess. So anyway, this month I'm going to make a scrapbook page. I have some pictures of my oldest daughter years ago playing chess with my husband. And I don't have, one of the things, I have a ton of Basic Gray paper in my stash, but I don't have a lot of embellishments. But I have this sticker sheet from Cartabella that's called Well Played, and it had chess on it, and so I decided I was going to use this because it does have a little bit of that vintage aged feel to it, which Basic Gray also has. And I decided, I looked at the colors and the stickers that I wanted to use, and then went through my Basic Gray stash and found some papers that I decided to use. So I have this sheet, which is double-sided. It is from the Nordic holiday, so it's really, I guess, a Christmas sheet, but I'm not going to use it as that. And I'm going to use both sides, I think. And then I had this sheet in my stash as well. It came from a pack, I think like an office theme pack, maybe? I don't remember. But I had these scraps, and so I pulled them out because I thought I could use them. And then I pulled out like this really kind of dark gray cardstock from my card base because of the color, like the darker color here. I thought it accented that, and then it also kind of contrasted really well with that, and then this would stick out as well. And I do have a page sketch that I am going to be using. I will link it in the description box below if I believe I have it saved, so I will link it in the description box below for you. But I liked it because it's not often I have 3 horizontal photos, but I did, and so I was just looking for a good way to kind of display them that just wasn't in a straight line or basic grid form. I feel like I do basic grid all the time, looking to mix it up, and so I liked this one, and so I think I can, the layout works well with the papers I have, and I think this is going to be kind of an extra addition in there. So let's get to creating this page. So I'm going to start by cutting down this 12 by 12 sheet. I do want to use both sides, but I only want to use a little bit, I guess a little bit of each side. So I'm looking at the scrapbook, the page sketch, trying to figure out, there's no dimensions on it, so I'm trying to figure out what size I want to cut my different pieces to. So I think I end up going with like 5 for that vertical strip, and then 5 or 6 for that vertical strip, and then the horizontal, I took 3 inches off of one end. And then I brought in, oh, and then here I'm trimming it down a little bit more. But I brought in the ledger paper one just because it added kind of a fun aspect, a different color, a different pattern, but I also thought it would be a good place to do my journaling. So I always try to lay things out before I adhere everything down. So now that I figured out where I want my papers, I'm going to figure out my photo placement, and then I can get everything adhered down. And I'm sorry if you hear clicking in the background. My dog is pacing on our hardwood floor, and she's very pacey today. So I like to adhere or add adhesive to all the pieces that I can. At one time, just because I only have to pick up my ATG gun once, but then here, because I'm doing some layering, it just helps. I'm not going to press anything down onto my cardstock page base there, but I do lay it gently, and then that way I can still pull both layers up to get my ledger piece laid in behind. Now I'm going to press everything down firmly and then put my pictures back down. I will have links to Sarah and Kathy in the description box below for you, so you can see what kind of basic gray projects they made this month. It's always exciting to see what different products they have versus what I have and what they choose to do with it. Whenever I put photos on an angle, I don't know why, but I struggle with trying to make sure that it's a perfect cockeyed angle. Now that everything is here down, I can do the fun stuff, bring in that sticker sheet. So I'm going to be using all of the chess pieces, and then I have this sticker that I'm going to use as my title, and it says some like the beginning of something special or something like that. Unfortunately, I don't have the layout in front of me and I can't read that tiny print, but I'm going to use that as my title, and then brought in like 3 different chess pieces, and then there's some words that I thought that fit what Ellie, I don't know, her face. One of the words was mischievous. She just had this mischievous grin on her face, like she thought she was, whipping Dad's butt. But and then that crown, I thought, since you have one of the chess pieces is the king, I thought I would use the crown on Sean. And I like the placement of everything now, so I'm going to go ahead and push everything down really well. And then I'm going to do my journaling. And for the journaling, I just put the date. It was like April of 2018. And then I note that Ellie decided she wanted to learn how to play chess. And she looks, she's got that mischievous look, like she's winning and kicking his butt. And I like how he looks like he has to really concentrate on beating her. But I know that's not how it went. So I just wanted to kind of note that, because this was the very first time she ever played. So definitely wanted to make sure I recorded that. And then I'm just doing a double check to see if there are any other stickers that I want to throw on my layout. And I found some little corners that I thought would work and kind of bring in some more of that yellowish green and red that I don't have a lot of on my layout. And then I decided that the top right corner needed something, and so I'm going to bring in a scrap of the blue pattern paper that I use, and I'm going to trim it down to make a little banner in the top right corner. So I'll cut a fishtail out of that and adhere that down in the corner. And then I decide to look for a sticker that will work up there as well. And I find that red one that says I love games. And I thought that would be a nice pop of color up in that corner. So we'll just stick that right on the banner. And then we're going to call it done. Here's a final look at my layout. Again, please be sure to check out Sarah and Kathy, linked in the description box below. Hope you got some basic gray inspiration if you have some of their paper products still in your stash. And as always, I thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you all have a very crafty day.